Sometimes life can keep me down with your face all in the dirt. Now if you feel that left behind, need to get up and go to church.
Very least of all saints, this grace was given to preach to the Gentiles the unfathomable riches of Christ, and to make known the mystery which for ages past has been hidden in God, who created all things. So that, now the "so that" references why he created all things. So that the manifold wisdom of God might now be made known. Now the manifold wisdom of God is the full nature of God's character. The manifold wisdom of God might now be made known through the church to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. This is in accordance with his eternal purposes in Christ Jesus. The rulers and authorities in the heavenly places are the angels, the angelic beings, right? It's not all about you. Part of our existence, listen, God created all things in order to teach his creation about their creator. Okay? So let's take a journey through time, shall we? Let's go back to the beginning. And I don't mean the beginning of earth, I mean the beginning of time. Okay? God has created a universe. God has created all these angelic beings, right? And he's up in heaven, but earth doesn't exist yet. The angels can look at God and they can see that God is beautiful. There is nothing more beautiful to look at in the universe than God. They can also see that God is creative. They can look around, they see all these different angelic beings and creatures. They look at heaven itself, it's beautiful. God is clearly creative. But there are things about God's character that are not self-evident, right? The fact that God is merciful and gracious. The fact that God is wrathful, right? Because a being cannot show wrath to a being that hasn't done anything wrong, otherwise it's unjust. A being cannot show mercy and grace to a being that hasn't done anything wrong. By definition, it's not mercy and grace. So certain things, characteristics of God, the manifold wisdom of God, in order to be explained clearly and thoroughly, require action. I could tell you I'm a giving person all day long, but when I show up at your house with a box of supplements or something like that and instructions, you see I'm a giving person. Right? When God is able to do this. So what happens, right? The angels are in heaven and they're watching. And what do they see? Satan sins, original sin, and immediately judgment. He's cast down. And all the angels look and they understand God in a new way. Wow, God is wrathful. God does not play games. One mistake and you're out. And then they watch as God creates earth and he creates creatures in his own image. And then they watch and they see as Satan deceives man. Man sins, and all the angels looking down, expecting the same swift judgment. What do they see? Mercy, grace. An animal is slain, skins are provided, a promise of redemption is made. The angels watch and they see as God sends prophet after prophet unto his nation, and they're ignored and they're stoned and they're killed. And then they watch as God himself condescends and becomes a pitiful, pathetic human being, and he's disdained and he's hated by all and he's cursed, and then he dies on a tree the most horrific way possible. Then he rises from the dead. And the angels are still watching, because keep in mind it tells us in Hebrews the angels long to look into the mystery of the gospel. Right? So then he rises, and now all the angels understand why he did it. Because he loves in a way they never could have comprehended otherwise.
Amen, brother.
Do you see now why creation is necessary? Do you see now why when bad things happen and we still glorify God and we still trust God and all of this, it brings him glory?